What's up?
We're back.
We're back with Miss Jenna Kutcher. I love how you said you were bringing your mom jeans.
They're on. I was like, I could wear yoga pants and no one would even have a clue.
But you got the mom jeans on. Listen, I'm going to go real fast and intro you because I love your perspective. I love the way Jenna and I have become dear friends over the last year. We call ourselves the odd couple. It's hysterical. We come from two different generations, two different worlds, but we have so many similar things. But Jenna is someone that I've just admired since the moment I met her. The way she speaks from her heart, the way she's transforming lives. She's in the knowledge industry, helping women all around the world take their lives to a whole nother level. Her podcast is on fire. Gold Digger is just magical. The only two men that ever been on it are us two. Woo, woo. So I feel really privileged. But to watch her and hear her story of being in corporate America, being in an office with no windows or a cubicle, no windows, and just having the nerve to say the heck with it, buy a $300 camera. She got in the wedding business. She did so well serving people, just what Tony said, deliver value, go to another level. She served people sometimes at the bottom of the barrel that couldn't afford big weddings. And she delivered so much value. She worked all the way up until she started training other women on a whole nother level. Now she's got one of the most successful brands, making the most impact, an amazing mom, amazing wife. Love you to death. And
Please tell us how you started so they'll know, because they probably won't know. It's amazing.
Well, I think what's so amazing about what we heard tonight and really thinking about it is that I started as a student, and I think I am a lifelong learner, and all of us at the table are. And sometimes I'm like, Tony, how do you remember so many numbers? And who is Jim Rohn? I had to Google him. And I'm like, okay, so how does this actually look for us today? And as I was sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, do I deserve this seat at this table? What is my gift? And I'm thinking about all of these people watching who are like, do I have a superpower? And I told you the other day, like, I struggle with the word superpower because so often we think like it has to be this mind-blowing, remarkable gift. But so many of our gifts come through what life has taught us. Yeah. And I think so much about my journey as working in corporate America, becoming a photographer, teaching myself everything I knew, then teaching marketing. Like, I didn't go to school for this, but life taught me that. And when we look at the way that we can use our gifts with the world, so often, especially for women, I hope I'm speaking for the women here, the things that life has taught us are not necessarily by choice, but out of necessity. Like when we went through our fertility struggle, I can't tell you how many hours I spent Googling things. And I'm not an expert at fertility, but I am now a go-to person when somebody struggles with a miscarriage because I sat up and researched and made changes and did the work. And so I think a lot of times when I hear superpower, I'm like, dang, people are going to be watching this and they're going to miss their chance because they're thinking, I hate the word just. I'm just a mom. I'm just a photographer. I'm just a nanny. I'm just this. And it's like, we're not just anything. Yeah. So I think that what's so beautiful about KBB, because you guys, I've taken this program twice. And the reason why these guys invited me on is because last year I was like, you didn't do the program justice. Like too many stories. Like tell us how this works. I want to know how it works. And so I just want to quick walk you through what I believe KBB is and the steps that it would take whether you buy the program or not. Because honestly, the only difference between investing in the program and not is time and money. And guess what? You can always go out and earn more money, but you can't get back time. And I think I've learned so deeply how impactful time is. When I took the course the first time, I had a baby on my hip. I was like, I don't know if I can make it through. 30 minutes a day, just 30 minutes a day. It took me 30 days. That was it. And so I'm like, if I can do this, anyone. So let me walk you through my version of KBB.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's do it.
Okay, all right, here we go. So I think the first part is just understanding that you are the go-to person for something. Like you have a gift and maybe you haven't discovered it yet. And if you haven't, then this is gonna help you figure out and really feel powerful. Like I've watched so many people come alive when they realize, wow, I'm awesome at figuring out how to implement, or I'm so good at giving people confidence, or I'm incredible at choosing outfits. Like it can be simple or complex. So it's first just really discovering that gift and owning it. And women, when we step in our power, we are a force of nature, right, boys? Right? And so when you figure out what that superpower is, then the next step is extracting that knowledge. And I remember my mom is a college instructor. She's watching right now. And I remember the first time I said, I'm going to teach. And she goes, do you know how to make a curriculum? And I said, I'm going to figure it out. And what is so beautiful about KBB is that it shows you how to take what you know and to systemize it. Because a lot of times we don't know how we do the things we do. Like, we're so close to our own genius that we don't realize we have a system, we have steps, we have a method. And so we extract that knowledge in a way that will not just get you a result, but get other people a result. And that's like where the magic starts to happen. And then maybe you're thinking, okay, well now I have it extracted, but who actually wants this? And I think so many people struggle believing that their offer is valuable. And let me tell you, people will pay to learn anything these days. I can't tell you how many courses I bought as a new mom. Sleep training, food weaning.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm like, teach me everything fast because I need to learn really quickly. And so it's putting it together and finding your people. And then the marketing part, and I love marketing. I could market all day and night. Marketing is my jam, and I learned so much inside of the marketing module. Like, I made my team watch it. I'm like, you guys, like, this is gold. And so then you have this offer that you can fill because you can market. And I think a lot of people get freaked out here because they're like, oh my gosh, 10,000 people in a stadium.
Yeah, Jessica asked who would listen to me.
Yes, and when you say these numbers, when you say these big numbers, I'm like panicking inward because I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just sit in my living room with 10 women and like watch the transformation, that would change me too. And so I want people to know that when it comes to delivering, it doesn't matter. Like, when you have that message and now you have the system to make that result, it doesn't matter if you're going on Facebook Live. It doesn't matter if you're doing one-on-one phone calls to get your feet wet and to build that confidence. It doesn't matter if you're speaking on stages in stadiums. Like, that impact is this ripple effect. And I have to commend you guys both because I've taken so many online courses. One of the biggest gifts that you have given us is these tools. And they're tools that you don't covet. And I think this is huge because a lot of times educators have egos and they're like, okay, anyone that buys this gets this tool, but no one else. Don't tell anyone else my method. And what I love about you guys is, like, I believe I can just picture you guys saying, like, go make disciples of all nations in a sense, because you're saying take these tools and share them with the world. And that is why this has made the impact it has. And so when you guys explain the course, I'm like, it honestly simplifies just everything. And I've taken this course twice. And so the most beautiful part about these online courses is I took it a year ago and I retook it. Same content. And now there's new additions, which are like mind blowing. But my results were so different because I had grown as a person because of the content. And so when I did these exercises, I had grown and changed and we evolved.
Yes.
And so what's so beautiful about this process, and I tell you this all the time, is right now you're selling what people think they want. But you are hands down giving them what they need.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Oh, I could talk about this all day.
Tell them so they know where you started. Tell them the story about buying your first camera so they get a sense how far you come and where you are today.
Yeah, and I think when we think about that, it's like, again, like, who am I? Who am I to do this? And it's like, who are you not to? I was in a corporate job, hated my life. I thought I had made it, and I hated it. I bought a camera on Craigslist, and this will be a good point. Bought a camera on Craigslist, $300, started a photography business, made a goal to get out of my corporate nightmare. I did it in a year, but here's the but, and this is really good for you to listen to. Within 3 years, I had scaled to $100,000, and I don't say that out of pride. I say that because I was miserable. So often, we put these huge numbers and values on our life of these goals, and we reach them, and it's empty, right? And I realized that I had built this system that wasn't scalable. I want to ask you something right now. If you're watching this, is what you're currently doing, is it able to impact more people without you working harder? Are you able to earn more income without you physically showing up every single day? Because I realized that if I didn't show up for a wedding, I wouldn't pay my mortgage. Yeah. And so a lot of times we build these magnificent things and we get to the top of the ladder that we created and we're unhappy. And I have found, and you know this too, impact is like the number one happiness meter. Like,
it sure is.
I have never been more happy than when I see somebody transform. And that's why we're in this business of transformation, not inspiration. And so I think what is so important about decisions, because we all have them, is whether you're listening and you're not sure, you can do this system. We just shared it. Find your superpower, figure out your offer, extract your knowledge, market it, and then make it scalable. Great, awesome. But if you do not value your time enough to do what they say, which is turn decades into days, then you are going to be on Google University for the next 8 months of your life just trying to piecemeal a plan together. And so I'm so passionate about this education system because time is everything. Time is life. Time is our currency. So,
and you can go online because it's the Wild West online.
Yeah.
And you get a million answers to your questions, most of which don't actually work.
Yes, they're not a system.
Like, everything I learned from Jim Rohn was success leaves clues. If someone is truly successful at anything consistently for years or decades, they're not lucky.
Yes.
They're doing something different than you. It's not that they're gifted. They're just doing something different than you. Figure out what they're doing. Do the same thing. You get the same result. But you got to model someone who is actually successful. Because it's like going to a doctor that's ill all the time and saying, "Get me well," or going to a financial broker that doesn't make any money and saying, "Manage my wealth."
Yes.
You got to go to somebody who's done it. And so you've done it. We've done it. And all this is proven. It's not something that we're hoping is going to work out or we've come up with.
Yeah.
It's got decades of proof.
Listen, you know what I love too, Jenna, is you come on here and describe what we've worked 2 years to create. Sometimes it's hard to describe it in simple way because we worked so hard putting everything in.
Yes.
But just know, and I love to even ask you this, can you tell? I know you can tell because you've been through it twice, but we work so hard to take something complex and make it a process that seems simple. And I don't mean, so there's nothing easy in life, but the reason we have that stack of graduates, the reason there's 120 comments a month, the reason we had a stack of 1,100 wins is because this is the course you'll finish. This is the course you go through, and this is the course you utilize and take action. Yeah. And I know we had a lot of questions come in, but especially because Jeremy grabbed all the women comments because you're going to be here. But how do I get over the fear of finally starting?
So I was talking about this the other day, and I believe I had this moment. I was feeding my baby. It was 4 a.m, and I'm already self-sabotaging. How many of you self-sabotage? It's like we are in this business of life to prove ourselves wrong. And I got on Facebook Live the next day and I said, sometimes we want to let ourselves down to say we're not worthy of the things that we're dreaming because it would be so much easier to just go through life and coast, right? Yep. And so I was realizing, I'm like, I am already self-sabotaging before this day even begins. So how can we, as women, as men, as humans, how can we make a promise to ourselves that we finally keep? And what I think is so incredible about all of this is when we think about making this leap of faith, there's a part of us that's like, am I really going to do it? Is this really the time?
Absolutely.
And the way that the support is set up, whether you're walking through it, I mean, I walked my people through it. And now we have the implementation help with these men. Like, if you have a community of people and this excitement and this movement and this momentum, maybe today is the time that you actually make a promise to yourself that you are committed to finally keep.
And, and it's also, it's 30 minutes a day kind of thing. I'm a crazy person. I'll go to something in 4 days, all day and night. I'm immersion, and some of you are like me. But really, you just chunk it down and say, I'm going to take 30 minutes a day to develop a new profession, to develop a new business, to develop a new skill set so that I can take my life. I mean, you talk about going to 100,000. I don't know, can you share it? I think you've shared it, how much you grew to, and then you've multiplied again. You went from 100,000 working your tail off to your own business. But to what, 7 figures, correct?
Oh, yeah. But to me, it's so funny because we were all in Fiji together, and everyone was talking about these numbers, and I was doodling. I think it might be in this notebook. And I wrote the words, I want to feel peace and freedom. Mm-hmm. And to me, it was like, okay, like money is wonderful. Money is great. It's this currency, but time for me.
That's the most valuable thing you do.
Yes, and especially as a mom, I'm like, if I can create something that can serve people while getting me back my time. Yes. So when I went through the course, I was literally like, we bought a Bose speaker that we hooked up in our shower, and I was like, this is the 20 minutes I'm getting today. Or when I'm putting on my makeup, I'm on Facebook Live talking to my students. And I think that what was so amazing is like people are watching somebody actually have to commit to doing this. this and that it's not easy, but it's possible. It's like we want to see the possibility painted 100%. So I can close my eyes and hear you guys in my ears if I'm walking the cul-de-sacs in Hawaii, taking a few extra laps to learn all of this. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I said this earlier, but the next 5 years is going to go by anyway.
Yes.
And the next 5 years you could be sitting and wondering what to do, or you can decide to take action, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're currently a professional and working for someone else, or you have a side business, or you have your own business, we're still going to hit obstacles. We're still going to have to figure it out. How cool would it be to have a blueprint to help you be involved in something that's growing? Something, it's not Blockbuster, it's Netflix, right? It's what's next. And, it's not taxi cabs, it's Uber. This is an industry that's growing. We all want to do something impactful and meaningful. And we have a couple of guys that have been doing this for 60 years to show you how to do it. And we obsessed on making sure it had those three pieces: the mindset, the tactics that work, and then how to implement.
I gotta share one thing.
Yeah, let me hear it.
The one reason why I think for a lot of women, I mean, we did the research last year and it was the majority of women here. And I just want to speak to the ladies for 1 second. We do not need help with the head and the heart stuff. Like this intuition and this heart and this passion, like we've got that down pat. And the more that we listen to that, the more beautiful our gifts are shared with the world. But when we can get the strategies and the systems so that we can use our heads and our hearts to their full potential,
God, I love it.
That
Preach
is when
it.
the magic happens. And so it's so funny to me because people always say, why do you have male mentors? And I'm like, I want the systems. These guys have decades of experience on me. Give me the systems so that my head and my heart can come alive and just implement.
It's really beautiful.
That's what we need. And that's what that's why I'm so passionate about this. Oh!
Jenna, I am so glad to have you here, and I'm so glad that you've been such a voice for this and watching. Listen, last year over 54% of the people who got enrolled were women. You see the Facebook group is on fire. You women are lighting it up. You are leading the charge, inspiring the men to keep up. So we're gonna get a little break here, and we're not a break, and we're gonna have Russell Brunson come on here in a minute. And I know we're going long here, but it's so important because listen, this is one of those moments where, if this is not taking food off the table, if this is not going to put you in a compromising position, it's one of those things where you go, this sounds great, and I got to hear from Tony and Dean. Oh my God, Jenna lit me up. Maybe next week, maybe next year. And when's the last time you put something off and a year went by?
Why not wait from your perspective?
Yes.
Why not wait?
Yeah, that's so fun. I was going to say, why? And the last thing I'd ask is why would you say, why do it now?
Yeah. I mean, I look at the last year of my life and I could have made every excuse in the book. I have a baby at home. I've waited 3 years to have this baby. I have a business. I have all these things going on. And I could look at my corporate days and say the same thing. I'm working 50 hours a week. I'm exhausted. But here's the thing is time is not promised. And if we truly, truly want to die at the end of our days and say, I used everything I got, I went out there and I made a difference. If we truly want to end our days with people saying, wow, that mattered, you mattered, you were happy, you came alive, and you inspired me to come alive, dang. So I look at how fast a year can go with my little baby. Oh my gosh, she grew so fast before my eyes, and I think about the legacy that I want to leave and the way that I want her to watch her mother going through life. I want her to grab the bull by the horns, and so that's what we have to do. The way that we sacrifice ourselves and put everyone's needs ahead of us to say, I hope they're happy, I hope they're happy, I hope you're happy. And maybe the decision to be happy is finally saying, I'm worth it.
Wow. All right, I got to give it up for you. That was amazing.
Got you, boys.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Thank you, Jenna.
Thank
you so much
Thank
for being
you for
here.
having me.
Listen, if you're ready for that next level, if you're ready to be a part of this community, if you could be in the Facebook group in moments from right now and see what it's like to be a part of this family, feel connected and finally not feel alone, get your answers, you get your questions answered, feel a part of something that's growing, a part of a movement, then click the link below or go to kbbcourse.com. Get enrolled tonight. This is something we do once a year. That's it. For you to get the 12 months free, all the bonuses, the 6 weeks walking through the course to make sure you graduate. This is it. This is now. You come back in 2 weeks, this offer won't be here. So click the link below or go to kbbcourse.com. We're going to play a 2-minute quick video of people from around the world, and then we're going to bring back Mr. Russell Brunson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Eddie.